How's it going? Hi everybody, today I'm at Shellness at an EXDO post, which is an Extended Defence Officers post. The idea is that this place was meant to stop to be an observational post for submarines that would be going across the swale, which is behind you, which you'll have a look at in a minute. And before we do anything else though, I just want to sort of explain this bit of graffiti here. This bit of graffiti was done by a guy called ATM, who is still a really prominent graffiti artist, second probably only to Banksy really. And this is a picture of a hen harrier which is currently sort of being eradicated in this area, and obviously his idea was that this was trying to sort of highlight the importance of the plight of these birds. So I think it's actually really cool, and what we're going to do is we're going to go inside because it's a lot less windy, and we're going to talk more about it. So see you in a minute. Yep. Okay, so hi everybody, so we're going to take you inside now, and hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about it. So here we go. Okay, so this is separated into two rooms, this place. This is the first room. This is the generator room. This is the thing where I've just got a couple of sliders. This is where the main generator would have been, which would have been the thing that would have operated the mines that would have been used to obviously explode the U-boats that would have been crossing the swale. So as you can see, it's really tiny in here, and literally you can see that's the original plinth there of where the generator would have stood. It's quite rare actually to still see things like that being survived, and then that little block down there would have been where all the cables would have come out of. And so yeah, so here we go. So that's that tiny little bit there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the next room. So follow around. Okay, so this is the main observational area. As you can probably tell, there would have been an original ladder. In fact, there's still clips that are still remaining above there, which the ladder would have basically just sort of dropped down. It would have been like a rusty old ladder that would have sort of come down, and it would have been an aerial observer. And obviously you can see that there's 4 slits in there, so you would have been able to see like almost a 360-degree view of where you would have been. But the more important thing about this is that these 2 slits in particular, so this is the first slit. This first slit here it's probably a bit windy, so I do apologise. This is the first slit. This one's facing out into the northeast, so this is basically facing across to where the channel potentially is. So you would have had an extended view going right across there. And then this one is probably the more important one. This is the one that's sort of facing the southeastern slot, which would have been where you can see the swale itself that sort of ends and goes right the way around. So what would have happened was that if you sort of subdivide it, so if on the far left you would have had these things that would have been called guards, and they would have stretched right across from here to the other side of the island, and then on the other side there would have been like a gap between 2, and then on the other side you would have had a layer of mines. And then what would have happened was that as a U-boat was approaching, coming through, it would have triggered one of these guards, and then the idea was there was basically a case of like battleships. So the idea is it would have triggered off to sort of symbolise where these U-boats potentially would have come in, or U-boat should I say, would have come in. And the idea is you would have triggered off each individual mine. So it would have been literally like, if you ever played battleships before, it would have literally been exactly like that. Anyway. So, as you can see, it's quite cosy in here, but this main place is actually operated underneath, it would have been responsible underneath the Royal Navy, and they first started this all up in 1939 to combat U-boats potentially coming in and sort of destroying any cargo ships or anything before or after they sort of left. And then obviously, like I said, you've got an observation post, and then they would have been had to speak to the higher up chain in command, which would have been in Shellness, because like I said, we're in Shellness, which is on the island, and we had a map that the idea would have been on the east coast of the island. And obviously you know Shellness really well, obviously Shellness on the far right or western side of the point, and they would have been in charge of basically telling them, you know, commanding them as to what they would have done. So as you can see, it's a really cool place. Okay, so I just want to point out something really stupid that's happened on the way back from the place we've just been to, Shellness. That I'm with my mate Jimmy, who's the bloke who's recording it, and my car's got a flat tyre! But we have no fear. We have a spare.
Drive over the potholes the size of
yeah.
the valley.
What we're going to do is we're going to use this as another educational video for you all. How to change a flat tyre on a Vauxhall. These are the types of things obviously that you should obviously always be prepared for when you do something like this. An historical journey. Bring a spare tyre like we have done.
Bring a mate to do the work for you.
Bring a mate to do your work for you, who also is a fantastic cook. Just in case, yeah, chef. And yeah, so we're just gonna get this all sorted. And obviously, as you can see, Jim's already in his formula training gear, so he's well up for it, which is good. And yeah, there you go.